Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Sandra and I'm on the marketing team here at CanadaHelps, and I'll be helping host the webinar. It's actually going to be led by Jacob O'Connor today, who is the Charity Success Manager at CanadaHelps. Jacob will introduce himself in a few short minutes, but first we just need to go over these quick housekeeping slides. So for those of you who are new to CanadaHelps is a social enterprise focused on helping charities. We provide charities with open access to our affordable online fundraising platform and training so that they can better connect with the people who support them. And for donors, we offer a one-stop shop for donating and fundraising for any registered Canadian charity online. Since 2000, over 1.5 million Canadians have donated through CanadaHelps, and together we've raised over $780 million in donations. Now I'm going to pass it over to Jacob, who's going to lead us through the presentation.
Hi everybody. I hope everyone is having a great day. Spring is in the air. We're here in downtown Toronto. I'm sure you guys are out all over Canada, but we got a beautiful sunny day, a little chilly. But yeah, here at 2 o'clock, hopefully you get a little hour time out from your day. I'm really excited to be able to show you the new tools we have and show you how you as a small, medium, maybe even large charity can achieve some huge fundraising, crowdfunding results with the CanadaHelps tools. So my name is Jacob O'Connor, and I'm here at the CanadaHelps team. I'm the Charity Success Manager. What does that mean? It means that, and I'm really grateful for it, every day I get to work with charities. I'm thinking I probably spoke with quite a few of you already, but use our fundraising tools, including the peer-to-peer tool. Pretty much every day I'm helping you guys set one up to much success, and I'm very, very grateful for it. So today we're here to talk about crowdfunding, social fundraising, P2P. Our agenda for today, so we're going to talk about what exactly is social fundraising or peer-to-peer, and then we're going to take a look at the CanadaHelps tool. So specifically today we want to talk about, we launched a tool in 2015, we're in the midst of a whole bunch of updates. We're going to take a look at those updates and really show you how you can leverage online, social, and the CanadaHelps tool to have huge crowdfunding results. So there's going to be parts in a slide as we're doing right now, and then we're going to get really hands-on in a demo to help you. When you guys, after the webinar, you're going to get real excited. You're going to know exactly how to go ahead and create your peer-to-peer, and then you're going to know exactly the experience that your fundraisers and donors are going to have as well. And then after that, we're going to see how you manage those fundraisers and donors, and then looking forward to what's next with the platform and for you. So you can kind of tell today we're going to be looking really at how you're going to be leveraging these tools, but we're also going to provide some resources for you. So maybe if it's your first time or you're looking into potentially starting your first social fundraising event, we're going to provide those tools for you to kind of get the higher level strategy pieces about how you can go about doing that. But first things first, we're going to go look at peer-to-peer. So I already mentioned the names already a couple times. Social fundraising, crowdfunding, peer-to-peer. What is it? Now, I think for most we think this is a recent phenomenon, but I like to tell people my journey with peer-to-peer fundraising is not new. I started about 20 years ago with Jump Rope for Heart, Terry Fox runs in elementary and high school, middle school. Social fundraising, at its most fundamental, it's a reimagining of the relationship that you have with your donors. Unlike the typical relationship, that's a direct relationship between the organization and the donor, you actually enlist people to act as fundraisers on your behalf. So this is you get a fundraiser who's really connected to the event or to the cause, and they're asking grandma, their uncle, their friends to fundraise. So back when I was jumping for heart or running for a cure, this was me collecting Ziploc bags full of pennies and dimes and nickels. And then I got my pledge sheet and I'm handing it in. So I think right there you can already see a little bit of the administrative challenges. And I think that's why peer-to-peer has really taken off in the last few years. So we see the ice bucket challenge here and the many walkathons that you see happening now. And all of this has to do with social, with online and social, and how you can leverage that. Currently, there are 2 billion active monthly users of Facebook, and half of that daily. So 1 billion active daily users of Facebook. And that's not even taking into consideration LinkedIn, all those users, Twitter, Snapchat. People are connected, and of those Facebook users, for adults, over half have over 200 friends. By tapping into those networks, you can get fundraisers on your side and leverage their networks. A really key opportunity there is that these are people that may not have been connected to your cause, connected to your charity, and it's an amazing acquisition opportunity for you to start a relationship with new donors and to get new people connected to your cause. And so I have that quote in the middle. It's not about who you know, it's about who they know. And if had this question came up prior to the event, thank you for submitting those questions, by the way, everyone. But about, don't have a huge email list, how do we get started? A great way to get started is just staff or people close to your organization, volunteers, board members, and starting from there and going out to their social networks. Great place to start, great opportunity to acquire some new donors for you by leveraging these social networks. Huge power in that. So P2P coming to the fore, crowdfunding, raising billions of dollars. Our great leadership team here at CanadaHelps identified this opportunity and identified that there was kind of a cost-effective option missing for the charities we serve, these small, medium-sized charities. So in 2015, and some of you might be have never heard of our tool before, some of you might have used the tool a bunch of times, or maybe you're just testing the waters. But we launched this tool. And as I mentioned earlier as well, we're in the midst of some updates. So we provide this tool for you to leverage online and social, and all of kind of the administrative synergies that come with that as well. So let's take a look. So peer-to-peer with CanadaHelps. So you're getting your fundraisers to register for your event and to donate. Our CanadaHelps peer-to-peer tool, and we're going to run through this, I'm super excited, provides easy registration. So it's not making it difficult, it's not a hard process for your fundraisers, you're making it easy and smooth for them to register. You're going to provide for you team and individual fundraising pages. So people can get their group of friends and compete as a team against other teams in a friendly spirit of who can raise more money for a great cause. I'm sure all of you have amazing causes. Enhanced social sharing. So we talked about the power of Facebook, the power of Twitter. Built into the CanadaHelps P2P platform is that social sharing. Short links, and right from their page, they're able to share to their social networks. And then there's the donation processing for any device. So whether it's your old computer, I know up in the Ottawa Valley, my grandparents got a super old desktop. Works great on that. Mobile phone, great on that. Tablet, great on that. So this is donation processing. No matter the device, you're able to accept that donation and then instantly receipt the donor. So no more change, no more pledge sheets jangle around in a Ziploc bag. Any donor that makes a donation to your campaign through the CanadaHelps peer-to-peer tool, they're instantly going to receive a tax receipt on your behalf, completely eliminating that kind of time drain that comes along with the traditional social fundraising events. And then with that, so you're going to have all of these people creating pages, becoming your fundraisers, becoming your supporters and donors. With this tool, all of that data is going to be collected. It's not going to be pen and paper, all in one space, so you can aggregate it and use it for the future. And we're going to talk about some ways that you can do that too. And then along with that, fundraising thermometers and leaderboards. So these are ways that for each team and individual page, they've completed easy registration. They've shared it through their social networks. They're receiving donations. Those donors are getting those tax receipts. It's going to be tracking each of them. They could set their own personal fundraising goals and team fundraising goals to motivate themselves, and then have leaderboards to track who's doing well and to kind of motivate them to do better. And there's some other ways that you can also incentivize, and we're going to talk about that too, and that's right built in. So since 2015, when we launched this, we've had over 1,100 successful campaigns, over $9.2 million raised, and each year this is growing, and on pace again this year, over 30% year-over-year growth. So this is something that is one of the fastest growing ways of donations through CanadaHelps. And I wanted to point out these 3 campaigns for you just quickly. So these are 3 organizations, small to medium-sized charities, like many of you listening today, not a whole lot of staff, and they were able to put together some amazing campaigns. So Epic Golf Challenge. So this was 36 holes of golf competing to see who can get the best score, but also which team is fundraising the most. All going to support epilepsy programs for children in Durham. And then 10 Oaks. So this was another super cool one, super successful. You could see by the fundraising bar right there again. But basically a bowl-a-thon, costume themed. So for them, what makes this successful is that for these new donors, for these new fundraisers, with the Epic Golf Challenge, with 10 Oaks, with all of these campaigns, it's making it a memorable experience. So 10 Oaks, the way they did is they decided to have costume theme. Each team had their own theme to it. And then throughout the event, yes, we're incentivizing for teams that fundraise the most, teams who get the best scores, but also for spirit awards. So who brought the most spirit? And that's ways it's going to encourage a really fun event, an event that people are going to want to come back to if you're holding it again year over year, and just something that can ultimately connect someone that's new to your organization to that organization, to your purpose. And then another one here that I wanted to point out was this one's just fresh off the ground, Pieces of Possibility. So this is a campaign that's just about to be launched by Future Possibilities for Kids. And I know probably some of you are thinking, to get a golf course, to get a bowling alley, or whatever it is. I'm a small charity. This might be a huge cash outlay. I might just not have the time and the resources to put such a big event together. Pieces of Possibility, what they did. So they have a program running where they have kids and kid coaches. So it's kind of like a mentorship program. And basically what they did, there's no event happening. This isn't around a golf tournament or a bowl-a-thon, but they have a goal. So they share videos of their amazing program, and they have a goal where they want to increase the size of the program and the amount of kids they're serving from these underserved areas by X amount for next year. They want to double this program, let's say. So basically what they've done is all of the kids that are in this program currently, they've given them their own fundraising pages, so they can go into their network and say, hey, this program helped me so much as a kid or as a kid coach, and I really want to fundraise. We have this goal to fundraise so we can bring more kids into this program to get the same positive impact that I did. So this is not even, so they've just created fundraising goals for each individual page and each individual team. The campaign is running for a couple of months. There's no event happening. You don't need to put the cost for it on a venue or in any of that sort, but it's just connected to a specific campaign or a specific goal that you may have. So another way that you can do this. Before we kind of step into actually going and seeing how we can create a peer-to-peer yourself, I also wanted to show you some more super cool examples. So this one. So this is a peer-to-peer. It's called Stranded Water Valley. So this one happened last year. You see they did quite well. So this is just, talking with charities every day, setting up these peer-to-peers. Often I get a question about examples. Can you tell me about some peer-to-peers that work? So I can kind of get some ideas, get the juices flowing before I go and create my own. So this is an amazing example where these guys at Kids Upfront Foundation created kind of once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, really, a survivor-style weekend where participants would apply to go, and basically each participant for the weekend has their own page. And so this is also a way that you could incentivize donations and incentivize giving. So each participant, depending on the amounts they fundraised, was given certain bonuses throughout the weekend. So maybe when they were not given as much food, this person would get an extra treat. Or if they're running a race, person that fundraised more would get an advantage in that race. So someone is coming into this kind of once in a lifetime great weekend away opportunity. They get their family members, their friends to kind of support them and want them to do well in this event. And this really creative, really great example of use of our peer-to-peer tool. Here's another one, another great example. So this is Crimestoppers in Northern Alberta. So this is, again, this is kind of a little more work involved in this, but what they've done here is they've tied their peer-to-peer tool within their website. So they've built a website specific for this campaign, and it's called Caught by Crimestoppers. So they get fundraisers to enlist, to pledge their support, and each of those participants makes up a crime for themselves. So the one we're looking at here, being a dad joker and having a sick flow. So he sets up this crime that he did, and he has a bail. So his bail is set at $12.50, and so this becomes his fundraising goal. So if you want to get him out of jail, then you have to pay for that bail. So they've really done a great job of integrating this with the website and the branding. Really kind of quirky way to pick out a fundraising goal and to get people excited to donate. Super cool example. And here's another one. So this is the Big Pursuit, and this is happening right now as well. Just got off the ground. It's going to be live for another month. So this is out in Red Deer. This is the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Similar to what we saw before with the Stranded event. They are, this is a scavenger hunt. So basically it's in the city, so they're not going out in the middle of nowhere Survivor thing. But they are enrolling teams and participants. You see they've got 28 teams, 72 participants already, and this was as of a couple days ago. But basically they set up the scavenger hunt, and the same deal, depending on the amounts raised, participants will get certain advantages on the day. So they're providing a memorable experience, a scavenger hunt throughout the city in support of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, connecting them with that cause, and then promoting the fundraising through giving benefits. And then another thing that you've seen here that you maybe didn't see on the other pages as well, they've got some big sponsors for their event, and they've really made use of the different avenues of media, the big banner on the front page and the media library below, to promote those sponsors who are helping them to run that event. Awesome. So we saw some examples. We talked about peer-to-peer, what it means. We looked at some examples from some small to medium-sized charities. We've seen some really cool creative examples of the use of the platform. Now, let's create one ourselves. So I'm sure you guys are all juiced up and wanting to get one set up and ready to go. So let's go and do that. So the first thing that you're going to want to do to get started with creating your peer-to-peer is to visit your CanadaHelps account. If you do not have a CanadaHelps account and you're a registered charity in Canada, really easy to do that. You're going to go to the For Charities tab and click this Register Today button to start setting up your full fundraising account. Just a heads up, for those who are not yet registered, there's absolutely no fees to registering. And so that's a free registration. You can get started today. For those that are registered, you're going to want to go into your charity account. If you're looking at your charity account and you're saying, hey, I have home, profile, donate now, but I'm not seeing these peer-to-peer and events tabs, that means you have the basic profile. Super easy to do. You're just going to want to come to your home page, scroll to the bottom, and click on the button to upgrade to your full fundraising account. I'm not seeing it right here because we're in a full fundraising account, but that would appear right at the bottom of the page here. Again, no cost to upgrading to that account. So to create the P2P, we're going to go to the P2P tab. And you're going to see two buttons. So I'm just going to speak briefly to this. So you have the Create New P2P campaign, and you also have Create New Third-Party P2P campaign. So two different things, similar platforms, but with third-party peer-to-peer. So this is about, so think about your donors or people that are close to your organization for birthdays, different parties, anniversaries, holidays. People often want to create fundraisers and do something on their own. They want to fundraise amongst friends and family, donate maybe their birthday gifts. Third-party P2P campaigns give them the opportunity to create their own pages, their own fundraisers, and hold it in one place. So you can create, we're not going to touch on this today, and there'll be another webinar about that, but you can just click on here to create your new third-party campaign. This is a site that would live forever, and people can come and create their own individual pages, but have the added bonus of your own branding and kind of just having that secure across. So today, though, we're going to go for Create New P2P campaign. Cool. One of the questions that was asked as well, is it possible to do bilingual campaigns? Yes, it definitely is. Even if you do choose to go for an English campaign or a French campaign, today we'll be doing English for the purposes of this webinar, donors will still be able to navigate your page in French and English. CanadaHelps fully bilingual platform, so regardless of you choose English or French, donors will still be able to navigate in their preferred language. So when creating a peer-to-peer, we're here, this is the main page. So we're going to start with just general info about the campaign. So you're going to be asked to create a URL. So we're going to do meditation month. It's going to be ours. And meditation month for mental health. Cool. So this is the campaign URL, and we've created the name, Meditation Month for Mental Health. About text. So this is going to be the text that appears on the main page of your campaign. So I've prepared some stuff. I'm just going to copy and paste that and get that going. So main page of your campaign, I'll show you where that's going to appear in a sec. I want to really, though, draw attention to just a few of these fields that kind of will really affect the structure of how your peer-to-peer functions. The first of these is event registration required? So we're defaulted to no here, but I just want to kind of run through these three options. So basically what this does is that if you are, say it's a walkathon or whatever your event is, some events might require a registration fee and some may not. If you do require a registration fee, let's say, so you have a $100 fee to enter and then you want people to start fundraising, you would link this to an event, and then the person, before creating their peer-to-peer page, they would be prompted to visit that event page, purchase a ticket, and when purchasing that ticket, they would be given an activation code through which then they would then be able to set up their fundraising page. So you could set this up in three ways. You can not require it. You can make it so all participants must purchase a ticket, or only team captains. So in this case, this would be only if teams, you wanted a registration fee per team instead of per person, you can do it that way. So then the team captain is purchasing the registration for the team. He provides the code for the team members, but the individual fundraisers wouldn't have to purchase a ticket. So for purposes, again, of this webinar, we are not going to do event registration. So this summary field, quickly, this, again, this is the description that appears at the bottom of your email. So this is kind of a signature line. So any emails that are sent through the peer-to-peer tool, this is just 140-character Twitter style that will appear at the bottom of that. Charity support address, I'm going to include mine here. We're going to start today. And we're going to run our campaign for a month. And we're going to be ambitious. with our $1 million goal. And then here you get to choose a fund. So we're going to just go for now, area of greatest need. I was saying I wanted to draw your attention to a few fields. This is the second one here, team settings. So here you can click that participants must join a team or they can join as an individual. Just know, if you click on participant must join as a team, when someone visits your page, there will be no join as an individual button. There's only going to be visible a create a team button or join team button. So this is for if you did not want individual fundraisers or to assign people to two teams after the fact, I would recommend clicking on this and kind of mandating that they do join a team. But also know that you don't have to do this up front. And as an admin, you have the ability to move participants. So if someone joins as an individual, you have the ability to add them to a team after the fact. So if you want to have that option open for people that might not have a team to join, I think that's a great idea. That's what we're going to do here today as well. And then the third one that I really wanted to draw your attention to was this team access status. So this is just about, and this really depends on your event. So I'm going to just take the example of the few other peer-to-peers we spoke about before. So in the case of Stranded Valley, so we have three options. So we have open to everyone, I will approve all requests to join, or send all invitations to join. So in the case of Stranded Valley, there's an application process that contestants have to go through before they're accepted to go on the show or the Survivor style weekend. So in that case, they're going to want to send all invitations to join. They wouldn't want anyone to be able to visit that page and create a fundraising page because they're not part of the event. There's a process that they have to go to. So that would be one where you'd want to send all invitations to join. So if there's some reason why you really need to control and you'd like to personally send out those invitations, I would use that function. Then there's I will approve all requests to join. So with this function, it is as it looks. So people will have those buttons that they can join or create a team. They would go through the whole process, but before the page is live, you get to look over their page and just approve whether you'd like to make it open for donation and visible to the public. So just a contrast, with the sending all invitations to join, when someone visits your campaign page, there's no way that they can actually join that campaign. There's no join button, there's no create a team button. They can only donate. The only way they're going to be able to join is if they receive an email from you through the CanadaHelps portal. So for today, we're going to go open to everyone. So we're going to save and continue editing. So those are the three main things in this general info tab that you're going to want to look at. The next place I really want to point your attention to while you're creating your peer-to-peer, page visuals tab. Okay, so we've got the general event set up. We know how we want it set up. There's no event registration. We want it to be open to everyone. You don't need to join a team. Now we need to get the look and feel. So that's going to be in the page visual section. So I've got my banner image already ready to go. And I'm going to pick a color scheme. So as you see here, you add a banner image. I'm going to show you how that looks in a sec. But that's just 945 by 200 pixels. So just remember that. It shows you here, but those dimensions are going to give you the best image quality. And then we have a media carousel. So these are images that appear, like we saw with the Big Brother Sisters example, across the kind of lower to the bottom of the main campaign page. With both the header and the media carousel, like we saw with Big Brothers Big Sisters, these are great ways to display your sponsors. So if you're looking for matches or some sponsorship from small businesses in your community or whomever it may be, this is something that you can offer to them, that their logo will be visible through this page. So we're going to add this banner image. And then I also provided some videos to help our meditators get going. So I'm going to add those. And I would also just recommend when you're adding images or video to the media carousel, you're going to want to add 4 to get the kind of banner style across the screen. Awesome. So we're ready to go. So there's our nice banner image. You could tell I'm a graphic designer, eh? On that topic actually too, so sponsors are usually going to make some sort of contribution, right? So if it's a match, that's something you definitely want to kind of advertise front and center on the main info page. Let people know that their donation is going to be leveraged. It's going to have more of an impact than that just initial $100 could be a match of $200 or $300. So let people know that. That's going to be a huge incentive to donate. The other thing is though, that sponsorship as well, in the donations tab, you have the ability to add offline donations. So let's say before the event, you're able to agree on a sponsor for, let's say, $5,000. Before the event is even live, and before you've given it out to your fundraisers and your donors, you could add that donation as an offline donation, that $5,000 offline donation. So let's do that now. Let's make it actually a $500,000 donation. And you can assign that to the main campaign or to a specific page. So I'm going to add this. Cool. So we've added that donation. But that's just a way for you to kickstart your giving. So before a donor or fundraiser even looks at the screen, there's some momentum, and it gives you some a great kickstart to your campaign. And then the last thing that I wanted to point out, new feature, this is the custom sign up. And this is another question that kind of came in, but waivers. Often these types of events will have some sort of liability waiver or agreement to be signed. Or maybe you need to get some other info. So the information that's collected by default from CanadaHelps, first name, last name, email address, and address. So the basics. We have this new feature here, which is super, super exciting, and it really only makes the registration process a lot easier for anyone that's trying to sign up, but it's to reduce that information collected. So no longer do I have to type in my home address, my postal code, any of that. All I need to do, first name, last name, email, and I'm ready to go. So we're going to go with the simplified contact sign up for this, and we're going to also add some custom questions. So we have a waiver that we can enter here. But for now, we're just going to ask a couple custom questions. So we want to know t-shirt size, and you can add your choices here. And we also want to know, do you want a t-shirt? Sorry. Okay, cool. So we've simplified the sign up. It's going to be super easy registration. We've asked our custom questions. Again, this is an opportunity where if you have a waiver, you can add that here. We've added our page visuals and our offline donation that we've got from our sponsors. I think we're ready to go. Let's see what it looks like. Awesome. Great. So we have Meditation Month for Mental Health. We have our logo prominent. We've kickstarted our giving with that $500,000 donation. We have campaign information right on the right front and center. So this is that info box that I was talking about on the first page. And then provided some videos to help with the meditation. So we have some meditation music. As I mentioned, I think it's optimal to have at least four pictures or videos to kind of put in that media carousel, so it goes all the way across the bottom of the screen. Great. So we are ready to go. So now we've created it. Now, as a fundraiser, as a donor, how does this work? Let's take a look. So I'm going to sign out of the charity account here and look at this page as a fundraiser. Okay, so as a fundraiser, I've come here. You know what? I'm really connecting to this. I'm a mental health advocate. I really want to join this campaign. I want to give my hand in meditation. So let's join. So if you're familiar with peer-to-peer from last year, you'll see that there's been some awesome changes made to this. Super slick design. Very excited about it. I'm going to enter my email address. So I'm just going to give you the two scenarios. So scenario one, I'm an existing CanadaHelps user. What happens? I put in my email address. It recognizes that I am a CanadaHelps user. Prompts me for my password. Okay, cool. I'll put in my password. Automatically populates those fields for me. So making it that much easier, sign-up process that much quicker for your registrants. Then all I have to do is answer these questions, pick a t-shirt size. I'm going to sign up, of course. It's such a great process, and continue. Now I'm going to give you the other way. So that was if a fundraiser was already a CanadaHelps user. We're going to look if it's a new user. So I'm going to join as an individual again. Not a user. Okay, cool. So I got to confirm my email. So I'm going to create a CanadaHelps account. Enter my name. I want a t-shirt. I'm a large. I want to sign up. My name, I will be the Zen Matt. No, who am I kidding? Zen Novice. My goal amount is $1,000. Got me sitting under a tree. And that's it. That page is ready to go. Literally 2 pages, about 5 fields to fill out, and your fundraiser has their page. They can add additional images, but they're ready to send this out to their networks. Literally, we just created a peer-to-peer campaign in about 5 minutes. If I didn't talk so much, it could have probably been about 2 minutes. And then that fundraiser was able to go in and create their page in about 30 seconds. And as soon as they create their page, they're brought to this admin section. And in this admin section, so it shortens that URL. So I now have this URL that I could share wherever I want. And then there's these prompts. So right from their admin section, as soon as they create that page, I could share this by email, by Facebook, by Twitter, Google, and Pinterest right away. So that's that social sharing, and it will allow kind of your fundraisers and yourself as an organization to leverage that power of social media. Then, as I said, they're able to add additional images if they want to have a nice media carousel like we created on that main page, and to check their donations. So this is kind of their hub. They now have created this CanadaHelps account through which they could manage their page from now on. Simple process, about 30 seconds. Great. Cool. So now we created the page. We saw how it works as a fundraiser. Now, what about as a donor, right? So let's take a look. So I'm no longer the Zen Novice. I'm a donor. So I'm coming to visit. And you know what? The Zen Novice just told me about his page. So I visit. So there's a couple ways. I visit the page right away, top of the page, donate now. I click on that button, brings me right to the donation section. I could put my amount and assign to any participant. We just created this page. There's only one participant. There's only one choice. But every single participant and every single team will show up in this list right away from the off. Again, that's right from that above the fold of the page. I could come to a page and make that donation. Another way is that we have the main campaign, but we also have this teams tab and participants tab. I go to the participants tab. I find the Zen Novice page, check out their page, and donate to me. So I'm going to go make a $10 donation. One thing I just wanted to point out here as well, aside from my great graphic design skills, is that we've switched the payment, platform over from our custom Donate Now form. So for those of you that are familiar with that and are using that, this is super mobile optimized. Any platform, again, great experience if they're donating to you on your phone, on their tablet, or on their desktop. So I'm not going to go through and complete the donation today, but just filling out these forms and completing that donation right there. Easy as that. Okay, great. So we've created a page, saw how it works as a fundraiser, and now we saw how easy it was to donate as a donor. And that's kind of the power of this tool is simplicity. So for you as a charity, it's not taking you long to set this up. As a registrant, super easy. If you're a new user to CanadaHelps or your existing user, we've really kind of taken down the steps, and there's only a few fields they have to fill out to get started. Once they get started, they're all ready to share through all their social outlets, through Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. And then donors, once they visit the page, very easy to complete that donation. So let's just say we completed this campaign. It was a great success. And we're thinking about next year now, and the opportunities. That do we want to do this again? How do we want to recognize our donors? So that's going to be the end of our demo right now. To get hands-on, we're going to go back to the slides. Awesome. So the data. So that was the big bonus we talked about is getting all of that data from your donors, your fundraisers, all in one place. And we're seeing here, I'm going to show you just how you can access that. So the same way you're going to access that, you're going to visit the P2P section of your account. And you're going to look for your peer-to-peer campaign. Once you find your peer-to-peer campaign, if you have many, you can search for it here. There's an edit button, and then this little graph here, that's where you can find the reports. So we're going to click on that, go on to the next page. So you'll see that you're provided with 3 different reports, and just a heads up to you guys that all of this is getting an overhaul, and I'm about to show you that. But the whole reporting section and the admin section, as a charity, it's getting a beautiful overhaul that's really coming soon. So I'll be happy to share some screens about that in a sec, but just wanted to let you know. So we're given 3 reports, one on fundraisers, one on donations, and one on teams. So you'll see the top 5 in each of these in your browser, but then you can go on ahead and click that download full report to get that full information. So for the top 5 fundraisers report, if you click on that download full report, you're going to get an Excel file of every single fundraiser for your event, all of their answers to your custom sign-up questions, them agreeing to the waiver, maybe their food choices or their t-shirt choices, but also their fundraising totals. So you're going to get the fundraising totals for each of those fundraisers. And I know that was a question that came up as well prior to the webinar. And then we have the 5 recent donations, very similar. This report, by clicking download full report, you're going to get all donations for the whole campaign, including which page that each donation was directed to, which team it was directed to. And then lastly, we have this top 5 teams. So again, click that download full report, and you get team by team fundraising totals. So which teams raise the most money. So we have this data. What do we do with it? Where's the opportunity? So there's a lot of opportunity here, and we're going to talk about 3 main ones today. So opportunity 1, treat them like you know who they are. Treat them like you know who they are. So what does that mean? So we've collected all of this data. The easiest thing to do is really get the donor emails, the fundraiser emails, and just send one en masse email and thank everyone. But with this data, getting the different types of fundraisers, the different donors, this is a way that you can create segments. Who is a captain? Who is a fundraiser? Who is a donor? Who is a first-time donor to your organization? Who is a top fundraiser? Cater your emails and your communications. So we have we talked about some different ways incentivizing donations and fundraising through, perks in a game, like we talked about with the scavenger hunts and such. We also talked about the leaderboards, where it's great to get on the leaderboard. Just being recognized, like without any kind of incentive, that's a huge one. Just not being talked to as kind of like a generic donor or generic person, but letting them know that their efforts were recognized and you know who they are. Opportunity 2, who are they helping? So you bring this one back to the future possibilities, or with Epilepsy Durham. If you're fundraising for a specific purpose or a specific campaign, let them know who they helped in their support. As a donor, what does your donation do? Who are the children that were able to enter into that program because of your donation or because of your fundraising? Be specific and let them know. It's a great opportunity once you have this data. And then opportunity 3 here is repeat participants. And a huge one with this too is that there's no acquisition costs. They've already fundraised. They know the deal. You have this data. If you're planning on doing a repeat event, it's a great way. These are loyal people, and they're the best fundraisers. They've connected. They're coming back again. You provided a great experience for them. That's a huge opportunity that you can have with this data. So we've gone through high level. We've looked at some examples, some super creative ones, got the juices flowing. We've created our own, seen how it all works from different perspectives of everyone involved. And in doing that, we've gone over some of the things that we've launched, but I want to also look forward to some of the things that we will be launching. So you saw this one, how easy it was to register for a page and then manage that page once you register. So these are the features launched in November. So that simplified sign-up, those new participant and captain accounts, those short page addresses that we saw, and then that simplified sign-up option. I don't have to fill out my address if it's not needed, my postal code or my country. It's just name and email. Super simple. Remove the barriers for registration. Again, and these are ones we've seen already, but brand new, and you'll probably recognize them if you've used the platform more in the past. This is for kind of repeat users that you'd see this really, but that really clean new design. Amazing updates that we've done, increase ease of use by that, as we saw, being able to attribute a donation to any participant from the main page. So if I'm a donor, there's so many ways that I can click the donate. I click that donate now as soon as I see the page, and right from there I can donate to any participant, any team, super fast. Checkout flow optimizations with that new custom donate now technology being ported over to peer-to-peer. And coming soon. This is super exciting, and I was talking about kind of the redressed and kind of updated look of the charity admin account. Evident here, so this is a look at the new reports tab. It's going to be great. With that, you'll be able to move donations. So if someone donates to the wrong team, you're going to be able to move those donations to different teams as an admin, and then include those offline donations in your report. So some really good reporting enhancements coming, a whole new look, kind of to match what we've already done with the participants and the team captain accounts. And then this is a huge one. So we've made it super easy for registrants to sign in. But let's say you want to make it even easier. What's going to be released soon? Default pages. So you can create a default participant goal, default page name, a description, and even images. So you create that, and then you're able to invite people, basically create the accounts on behalf of people with these default pages. They don't even have to go in and do that registration process themselves. You're just going to be sharing a link that they can go ahead and share. So even bringing one step further to kind of make it that easy to participate, especially helpful for people that maybe aren't so tech savvy. This is a really good incentive for those people. And then I mentioned it at the beginning of the webinar too. We were going to be looking specifically at our tool and different uses of our tool, creating a peer-to-peer, what that looks like. I really encourage everyone to go and download this guide. So this is kind of a look for launching your first peer-to-peer event. So talks about more of the high-level stuff. So how to engage fundraisers, working with the budget, how to market your event, and a whole lot more. This is over 30 pages, jam-packed with value. When you look at this and then combine that with the knowledge of just you having this tool and how easy it is to create it and get people signed up, I think you can make some great things happen. And then before we leave too, just wanted to put this out here. I know a lot of people here are using our tools to accept donations on their webpage. We've released our custom donation forms. With these forms, you can embed the whole process directly on your website. So donors do not have to leave your website to make a donation. So they're not clicking a button, going to CanadaHelps.org. It all happens on your website. Customized thank you emails, branded tax receipts, and it's actually at a reduced fee. So I'd really encourage people to do that. And another 2 reasons why you should do that are multi-step forms. So a new version of our custom donation forms breaks the donation into bite-sized sections. So you have first donation details, tax receipt details, and messages. Kind of a more digestible form, also a style preference, whichever you prefer between this and our full form. And then second, our tribute first forms. So also super excited about this, and we've seen some great examples of this. But this is a way to put, if you have a lot of in honor or dedication donations, put it front and center. You have the ability to upload your own custom e-cards that match for your organization. Super cool, and again, already seeing some really good applications of this. So I would recommend switching over to those custom donation forms and then making use of that multi-step form and the tribute first forms when you can. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. There's been, I think there's been a couple questions, so now we're going to take some time for those. If you just give us a sec, Sandra is going to help me out, and we're going to get to them. Thank you.
All right, Jacob. So the questions are coming in. The first one that we have here is from Harry, and it's, can a person say they're fundraising for the P2P in memory or in honor of a person?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we're creating that as a fundraiser, you'd see there's a few different ways that you can customize that page. So right in the page title, you can say, you know, we'll just use that application. Meditating for my dad, or whatever it is, right in the page title, you can kind of make that declaration of who you're doing that. And then in the fundraising story as well, like often with these types of social fundraising events, when people are fundraising on your behalf, it's because they have that personal connection or they want to create one. So maybe they have a family member that's suffering in something that your organization is serving. In that fundraising story, they get to tell that story and even maybe put a picture of the person that they are fundraising in honor and dedication of. I hope that helped. Thanks for your question.
And just to follow up on that, can campaigns last longer than 6 months, or are they time limited?
Yeah, no, for sure. They're not time limited. You'd have to think about, you know, for your organization, you want to think about your own specific event and what makes the most sense. Yeah, I guess it would depend on the event, how long you wanted to keep that campaign running for. But no, through CanadaHelps, there's no time limit on the event per se.
All right, so our next question is actually about donors. So when they make a donation, do they have to have a CanadaHelps account? Do they have to log in to make the donation?
No, not at all. Definitely not. So through any CanadaHelps platform, a donor does not have to have an account. The only thing that they would need to have is an email address through which they could receive that tax receipt. So they do not need to sign up for a CanadaHelps account. And then we accept all major payment methods: MasterCard, Visa, Visa Debit, PayPal, securities donations, and Amex. So nope, they would not have to register, and they have all those different payment vehicles as well.
We just have a follow-up question here that says, can donors include a comment? And is there like a scrolling feed where you can see what donors have given to that peer-to-peer fundraiser?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we could actually visit our campaign here. So each page, the campaign will have its donor role. So we have here, our sponsor A, he didn't leave a message for the sake of time, but he or she, but the donation was for 500,000. They can also choose to leave a message. So this is a supporter wall that it goes on the main page, but also each individual and each team would have their own supporter wall. It's up to the donor what information they like to share. They can share none, they can share just the donation amount, they can share their name or a message as well. Hope that helps.
Actually, now that we're on the P2P example page, that's perfect because we had a few questions come in about where would be a good place to locate like your sponsor logos.
Yeah, definitely. Great question. And I think we saw some great examples of that with the Big Brothers Big Sisters Red Deer with their Youth HQ. But prime real estate is obviously on the banner. We have, off the top of my head, a couple Big Brothers Big Sisters that are doing Bowl for Kids' Sake, partnering with Tim Hortons. They have that logo kind of front center on that banner. Wherever you wanted to put it stylistically. Clearly, I'm not the best graphic designer here, so I'm sure you guys can figure out a great spot. So right here on the banner image, and then also right here below in the media carousel, you can add those different logos here. And again, that's all in the page visuals section of your account. And just a heads up, guys, too, the demo period, the slides that you're going to be able to download, they'll have step-by-step slides for the periods that we were going through through a demo. So all those instructions will be on the slides too. Thanks for your question.
All right, thanks so much, Jacob. Just looking through, we got a whole bunch of questions here, so definitely looking through them. This one is about exporting data, and it's from Nicole, and it says, can you export data from the P2P campaign to determine who were, your fundraisers, who were your top sponsors by date, etc.?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Nicole, for the question. And Sandra's saying we have a bunch of questions. I know I want to be mindful of the time, but I'm happy to stay and answer as many as I can. I'll start with this one. So again, that will be, I went over it quickly. I'm going to show you again now, just very quick. So, that is in the report section. So we're going to go to P2P. We're going to find our peer-to-peer. And then rather than edit it here, we're going to click on this graph. So it's reports. I'm going to click here. Again, here we only have the Zen Novice that's signed up, but you can download this full report. It's going to give you full data on that fundraiser. So the answers to the custom questions, how much they've raised, and then the donation section here will give you all the donor information along with to which page they're attributing that donation. So that's all here, and then it downloads right into an Excel file for you. So I hope that helps. Thank you.
Sorry, Jacob, and just to backtrack to the question about donors leaving comments. So the question is, does that show up online for the public to see, or is that kind of donor wall like what the charity can see and nobody else?
So that's public facing. So it will be live. So if they've left that message on the individuals on an individual page, that message will be live on that individual page. So anyone that visits that page will see that message or the amount they've donated or their name. But again, when someone is going through the donation process, they're able to choose which fields that they'd like to share. So it's up to the donor, but yes, that is public facing.
Awesome, thanks. And we did have a question here about the peer-to-peer fundraising platform itself. So Rob's asking, how do we actually integrate this to our CanadaHelps page? We have an impact tab and an About Us tab, but we don't see where to put this.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great question. So right now I'm logged into the CanadaHelps account. So And I guess that also depends too on, I'll back up first. So that P2P page is not on the profile. So it does not appear when I'm looking at as a charity, when I'm looking at my profile. The only way someone can find a peer-to-peer is if they're given the link. So this is not something that's searchable on CanadaHelps.org or that someone's going to spot right off your profile page. So if we're looking here, Canada Helps, we have our About, our Impact. We just created that peer-to-peer in the Canada Helps account, but it's nowhere to be seen. So typically charities are going to be sending that out again through email, through, first through volunteers, staff. They're going to be sending out that link on their social media. You're going to be sending out that link. But if you wanted to integrate that with your profile for people to who happen to kind of stumble across, or not even that, people searching through your organization through Canada Helps, what I often suggest is you could put it, so on your About page, you can let people know. You can say, hey, we're in the midst of this campaign. Please donate or support here. In this section, you're able to link to other places. You could link directly to your peer-to-peer campaign, give that link out right in your About section. I think an even better way to do that is to create an actual campaign. So if you create a campaign through your CanadaHelps.org profile, many of you probably have one up, but it shows up in between your About tab and your Our Impact tab here. That campaign is also going to be searchable through the Browse Charity Campaigns section. So that's going to give you some extra visibility. So from there, if people want to register or donate, you can provide that link the same way that you would do it here. You can provide the link on that campaign page. But also, if someone decides they don't want to visit your P2P page and they make a donation through the campaign page on your profile, you can then just go and add that as an online donation or offline donation in your peer-to-peer campaign to make sure it's counting towards your total. So I think that's actually a very, very good question, and it's a cool way that you can kind of add some visibility from your CanadaHelps.org profile to the peer-to-peer itself.
Thanks so much, Jacob. We have a question here from Holly, and it says, when a company or a group wants to create their own fundraiser to raise funds on behalf of our charity, is this still called a giving page, or is this a third-party fundraiser that we set up on their behalf?
Thank you. That's another good question. So there is a distinction. We talked about third-party very briefly, just in the distinction between peer-to-peer and third-party peer-to-peer that we saw within that peer-to-peer section of our charity account. So a giving page, these are donor-directed pages. So these are people visiting CanadaHelps.org, going to this fundraise tab, and they create a giving page, as you call it, on behalf of your organization. So that lives here on CanadaHelps.org. Anytime someone can go and do that. Third-party P2P or third-party fundraising, what that is that you can have a link. This would be kind of, rather than donor-directed, this is charity-directed. So similar to P2P, you're going to be creating kind of like a main holding page. So you'd have your banner image the same way, and you can call it third-party events with your charity name. And basically from your Canada Helps profile, but mainly from your website. If you have a ways to give or a ways to support page, one of them would be fundraise on behalf of us. So they're going to click on that button and it's going to go to your third-party events page or your third-party P2P page. And then from there, it's not living on the CanadaHelps.org website, it's on your P2P page with your branding. In this case, you kind of have like a little bit more control over the process. You can have them before they create their third-party fundraising page. You can have them sign a waiver. You can make them agree to certain parameters of creating that page. So it gives you a little bit more control, kind of keeps on your brand as well, as opposed to just a donor-directed through CanadaHelps.org. So I hope I was able to kind of explain the distinction between the two. Thank you. Another good question. Really good questions.
All right, so I'm just looking through here, and we actually had a couple of questions regarding what are the costs associated with using the peer-to-peer fundraising tool.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm kind of thinking now, yeah. So I mentioned it's no cost to actually start using the tool. So account registration, if you don't have an account, is free. Full fundraising account is free. To actually go and create a peer-to-peer is also no cost. The only costs you'll incur are on what you fundraise. And similar to all the different Canada Helps platforms, our custom donation forms, our events module, right through CanadaHelps.org, it's a fee. It's a fee-based system, and it's 4.9%. So all donations will be charged at that 4.9% rate. That includes credit card processing fees, and that also includes the receipting, all in that 4.9%. And that's also the same fee for the third-party peer-to-peer or third-party events. That it's the same fee there as well, so it's 4.9%.
All right, I think we have time for one last question. We are 10 minutes over the hour. And the question that I'm seeing pop up a few times is, say you create a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign, is there a way that you can recycle this throughout the year? So like reuse the same campaign more than once?
Yeah, sure. And I also just want to go back to the last question for a second about about like kind of the pricing, and just kind of elaborate first before getting to this one. So in that there's no kind of setup fees or startup fees to get a peer-to-peer going. I would encourage all of you to get testing. You go in and create 1, 2, 3, 4, as many pages as you want at no cost, and you know, just test the waters, see what you can come up with, and see how it can support your fundraising and your desire to run one of these events. Coming to this question, oh jeepers.
You forgot. So the question is, how can you like reuse a campaign, like a P2P that you've already created, if, for example, you use the same or similar kind of campaign every year?
Yeah, so your campaign is going to be stored in your Canada Helps account, and that's that Zen Novice Goldfish memory. But your campaign is going to be stored in your Canada Helps account. So it's super easy to just, you know, create a new campaign. We saw there's only really about 5 fields when we're creating. Any images that you've added for the campaign will be stored in your media library and easy to access for the next year. And it's really just, you know, you can just simple as copy and paste that material over to the next year's campaign or later down the line, and updating it. So yeah, all that, the historical data for all your different donation forms, peer-to-peers, events is all going to be there. So you can access that and reuse that, no problem. Yeah.
All right, so I think that just brings us to the end of our webinar. We did have a lot more questions that had come in that we may not have addressed, but I'm sure that I'll be working with Jacob to get through to those questions and reach out to some of you. So thanks so much, Jacob, for the fantastic demo. I'm sure everybody really appreciated it. And of course, thank you as always for sharing your tips and tricks with us. And as always, thank you for our attendees for joining us today. And remember that if you have any additional questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Have a great day, everyone.